This is part one of the tutorial on how to complete Word Module 3 project. And as always, we always start by going to Mind tab, which you've done in projects 1 and 2, in module 1 and 2, and downloading the files. In this case, there are only two files, an instruction file and the start file. And I already downloaded them, and I already have them open in Word side by side. Here's the instructions, here's the start file. So it shouldn't come as any surprise. The starting steps are always the same for all the projects, and they will be for all the projects to come, which is to open the file that ends with _1 and do a save as and change its name to _2. Let me do that. On the Mac, the file menu is here. On the Windows, the file tab is here, but the save as is a save as, and I'm going to change carefully the 1 to a 2, also repeating that on some computers, depending on their preferences, they will show the extension .docx, and on some it won't. You don't need to worry about it. If it doesn't show the extension, it adds it automatically, as long as the name is correct. And I'm saving, and then I can mark this as done, as I always do. And with that file still open, ensure that your first and last name are displayed in the footer, just like the first two projects. Here it is, this file created specifically for me. Done. So we can go straight for the project steps. The cover story or the narrative around this is that you're a member of the Glenbrook Planning Division. You're completing the final draft of the division's report or neighborhood development projects. Start by using the navigation pane to format headings and refine the organization documents as follows. So first of all, what do they mean by the navigation pane? So if I go to View, and there's an arrow to show navigation pane, and it shows a navigation pane on the side. And one of the things I can do is change the view of the navigation pane to this one that looks like a document map. What this shows me actually are all the headings. It's like a map of all the headings in my document. You see, like, there's a heading called Introduction. Here it is. If I click on one of them, like Public Transit, it takes me to a heading called Public Transit. Very necessary for large documents, complicated documents. So let's see what they want me to do with this. They want to demote, in other words, to bring down the heading Areas of Study, so it's a heading 2 style. Now, there's all kinds of styles like heading 1, heading 2. They don't just indicate size, but mostly importance. So I'm going to find the one called Areas of Study, which is right here, and it seems to be a heading level 1. And what I will do, I think it's by right-clicking. Actually, on Windows, it's right-clicking, and you will find Promote or Demote. On the Mac, I could do it on the Home tab. So again, on Windows, if I right-click, I will see a Promote or Demote. On Mac, I can go home. I can also do this on PC, is you can use simply the arrows to promote or demote. And by demoting this, actually, sorry, it's not this, it's changing it from heading 1 to heading 2, my bad. Home, it's heading 1, I can just say you're heading 2. And see how it got an indent here that shows that it's now a heading 2. Again, to demote it means saying, hey, you're not a heading 1 level anymore, you're a heading 2. So I'll do this again. I'll undo just to go back. It was a heading level 1. I went to the Home tab, heading level 1, and clicked heading level 2. On Windows, I could have right-clicked, and one of the options here would be to promote or demote. Demote would make it a heading level 2. So step B is to promote next steps to be a heading level 1, which means right now it's a heading level 2. So next steps, right here, it's a heading level 2, and I will make it under the Home tab, heading level 1. Save, done. Step number 1, done. More than one way of doing it. Step number 2, on page 2, in the blank paragraph in the Urban Village Design section, insert and format an informative diagram as follows. What they want is to insert what's called a basic Venn smart art. So there's a lot of words here. Venn diagram is a diagram that shows in circles the relationship between two things, like how they overlap and so on. And they want me to insert from the section called Smart Art from the relationship section of the Smart Art gallery. So first of all, let me find the blank paragraph in the Urban Village Design section. I can actually use this. And right here, there's a blank paragraph. See, like an empty line. I can always reveal formatting and I can see that it's a blank paragraph. So I'll click right here. Then almost every time you hear the word insert, it will be under the insert menu. And what I'm looking for is Smart Art. And here it is. Under Smart Art, there's all kinds of categories. And one of them is relationship. Like relationship between two things. And what I'm looking for is the basic Venn diagram. Here it is, basic Venn. You see how it looks like little circles? Again, the arrangement and where that icon is on Mac or PC might be different, but it's there and the name is the same. Basic Venn. Click. And here it is, it inserted it. So I'm leaving it like this, and I'm going to see what else they want me to do. So I inserted a basic Venn diagram. Enter the text shown in figure number 1 to the Smart Art, with each word displaying in a separate Smart Art shape. So I'm scrolling down a little bit, and they wanted to say housing, zoning, and transit. And again, there's more than one way of doing this. By the way, notice that they're all capitalized. I can either use this little sidebar, which I can show or hide, and type the text here. What was it? Housing, zoning, transit. If this one's selected, it should be click, click. You can actually type directly on this. Housing. And this one, they want it to be zoning. You see how it automatically adjusts the size of the text, and this one's transit. Cool. And again, I could have typed it here. I actually prefer doing it directly on the circles because I always forget which one is the second one. They go 1, 2, 3, clockwise. In any which way, as long as the text ends up there, it's good. Save. Then that was just B out of 3 steps. I enter the text, then resize the Smart Art to a height of 2.4 and the width of 5 inches. So in this case, what I want to do is make sure that I select the entire Smart Art by clicking on, the outer frame. And the Smart Art has, once you choose it, once it's selected, will have 2 little smart tabs that show up, the Smart Art Design and the Smart Art Format. Again, they might look with little different colors on Mac or PC, but they're always the same. And under Format, I got the width and height. So what do they want? 2.4 and 5. I can do this by bringing the arrows up and down. Or typing the numbers, whatever's more convenient. 2.4 by 5 inches. Save. Done. And that concluded step number 2. Let's go to step number 3. So now this looks like this. Good. In the blank paragraph in the designated funding section, show the funding received by inserting a table. 3 columns, 4 rows, and then entering the data shown in table 1. Okay, let's start by inserting a table. So first of all, there's a blank paragraph in the designated funding. So I can still use my navigation pane and find designated funding, and here's the blank paragraph. And they want a table with 3 columns, 4 rows. 3 columns, 4 rows. Insert, table, and I could do it one out of many ways. If I click, I could just mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 columns, 4 rows. Or go to insert table and type 3 columns. I actually prefer that. 4 rows. Okay. Then they want this information there. And I would say that the safest way would be to type it in. But let's try another way. I'm saying you can try it. It might work, it might not. If I highlight all the cells here, no more, no less. Also, I will take off the boldness because they don't want it to be bold. And I will copy from the instructions. Then I will go to this new table that I created, and there are 2 things I can try to paste. I can try to select the entire table, or just click on the top left cell, go back home, and cross my fingers and paste. And here it is. Actually, did it work? Yeah, kinda. It actually created an extra column. So let me undo. Maybe what I need to do is highlight everything and paste, and that worked. That worked perfectly. So depending on whether you're on Mac or PC, again, if you find that copying, pasting is creating more columns, more problems than it's worth, then just go the long way and just type it in. But sometimes it can actually save you time. So here it is, my table with the purpose, the years, and so on. Perfect, great, save. Let me just do step number 4. Format the table to suit the design of the document. Apply the grid table 5 dark accent 1. So it's the group called grid table. It's style number 5 dark, and it's accent 1, like variation number 1, table style. Where do we find the table styles? Well, first of all, we got to select the table. And clicking on any part of the table selects it. If you see this little icon on the top left, that means the table is selected. Then there's usually 2 tabs that show up: table design, table layout. Table design has a whole gallery of styles. On PC, to open the gallery, there's a little arrow on the bottom right. On Mac, it's on the center bottom. So I click and I open the gallery, and there's grid tables, and they're looking for grid table number 5. Here it is, grid table number 5 dark, but one more to the right, which is grid table 5 dark accent 1. It's the one that looks like kind of reddish colors. Click, and the table took that style. Save. And then, as you notice, the first column is different. So remove the first column table style option. So select it. And there's an option, again, in table design called first column. You see how the first column looks different? They don't want it to look different. Uncheck. Good. By the way, let me undo a few steps and go even before and go back to a problem that I want to show you with that paste, because I want to show you another solution. What if I pasted, like I said before, into the first column, into the first cell, and it created that extra column? It's still not the end of the world. What I could do is click, hold, and drag and select it. go to table layout and tell it to delete column. Actually, there's more. Delete columns. I think it inserted 3 extra columns. And delete columns. So there's always, see, and now I'm fine. I'm back to 3 columns. When I pasted it, entered another 3 blank columns. Then let me do the style again. Layout, sorry, table design, gallery, grid, accent 1, and remove the first column. In the training, it actually shows you also how to add columns or delete columns in case you have too many. Okay? I'm going to save, and this is going to be the end of part 1, where we got to the end of step 4. We will continue with step 5 on the next video.